Shalom, this is Asar Banyasharala out of Lansdowne Kemp, located Jacksonville, Florida. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and honor and glory to the Father and Son in the proper true Hebrew tongue, the Paleo Hebrew. Call Halam La, Yahweh Bashma Shai, Bashem, Habakak Wadashma Moth. Also, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS, and double honors to our elders as well, Ahar One Basharala, peace and blessings 1/3, and salutation on for elect. This will be a quick, simple lesson just going on. There's like current stuff you see. I mean, of course you might see it coming, but you don't like not just race wars, but it's like Jake wanna get out of this type of mindset in this type of world. You know, some opposed to American ideology and how the world perceives them. You know, but ultimately going Southern Kingdom, basically, the so-called Negroes, they're tired of being looked down upon and what their own community, so like stuff like that. But of course, that's a very flawed thing to want because just like BLM, but all this from Molat, that can be taken from and misconstrued, and all they did with that was march and use the money that they donated. It was founded by Edomite. Even if it was Jake, they didn't use it for nothing good. It wasn't nothing good out of it because ultimately there's nothing that we can do on this side to help get out of this situation we're in. And the situation that we are the what do you call it, quote unquote minority, even though the true Israelites according to the scriptures are the so-called not just the Negroes, but also the so-called Latinos and so-called Native American and speckled bird. And that's first and foremost because we're not just black, as some I think some Hebrew call themselves that, just black Hebrew Israelites, but nah, that's not how it works. It's called the part of Israel too. So is um the Nephili, Zebulon, Simeon, the other 10 other 9 tribes that you'll be missing if you only count um you call it Southern Kingdom. But nonetheless, yes, this fight that we are fighting is not gonna be through physical power like Black Panthers did. It's not gonna be through a militia like Nat Turner did, which is the good rebellions. Oh, I'll say Nat Turner wise, but as far as a rebellion, it's not gonna be like Black Panther just killing anyone that looks like a Edomite or looks like a heathen. When our people can look like anybody on earth, they can literally look like who was it? Not Blake Griffin, Logic. He looks totally like Edomite, but he's not Edomite. So that's how it be. But nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. It says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper." Um, the main part is that we have the ability to fight spiritually because the weapon that is being formed against us, ultimately, what Jacob's trouble, that giving us that's a trial given us to by the Lord the Most High. But ultimately, martial law, yeah, martial law. We know first and foremost the martial law gonna come straight to your door, ask you to come down with them. We know that's gonna come because the Lord says it's gonna happen. So that fight that we must do is only gonna be through the Spirit. So their weapons like martial law coming down with that hammer, that wrath. All right. That's not gonna. Oh, keep going with this. Isaiah chapter 54:17. It says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shai, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shai." So come, man, the weapon that Esau is going to form against the so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Native Americans, and the speckled birds across the four corners of the earth, mostly here in Babylon, America, martial law, which is coming, a new world order, which is coming. Uh, that's not going to prosper with the Lord true servants that believe in him with truth and sincerity and righteousness. The ones that know that this place is going to be destroyed, it has to be destroyed, and it's ought to be destroyed, and that is coming very soon. It's coming this lifetime, this generation. All right, so nonetheless, knowing that this is going to happen, knowing that a weapon is going to be formed against us, but it's not going to prosper, knowing that martial law is a thing, knowing that this whole constitution and all these amendments that Esau has set up, was ultimately that was law that was set up by Gad as well, a treaty between like Gad and Esau, like law set up by Gad and Esau. But nonetheless, the way the system is set up, knowing that it is set up like this, why not be in the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, knowing that there's really nothing we can physically do. There's nothing physically we can do out of any conversation, and this is why I got just the mindset of any conversation, because I could say a specific video, but it's all videos that pertain to like quote unquote the black like black power. That's not a thing. The black mean void, first of all. Secondly, your Southern Kingdom wants more. They want equality, and anytime, they want equality and everything. And if they do it politically, they gotta all come together. If they do it by force, you gotta have guns, and Esau got everyone beat on that mug. Even hypothetically, if everyone would just simply come together, it would be easily disbanded, because all of our nation cannot be together if by one mind. That's why the Lord has mercy on His people. Because think of it as if we would had to if all of Israel had to be saved, every single one, it would take about 1,000 years for that to happen, because not all one. It's not gonna be completely unity. That's why the Lord is gonna have mercy on 1/3 His elect, the 144,000 elect men out of the nation Israel, and then 1/3 nation, 1/3 out of the nation of Israel as well. So the 144,000 elect men, and then 1/3 the nation of Israel. So not all of Israel gonna be saved. On top of that, only 1/3 can receive that mercy and salvation from the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, because it will take way longer for every single person to be saved. Because you see how this place set up. It's set up where sodomy is glorified, and adultery is glorified, whoredom is glorified, money is glorified. So you got every dude want to get money. That's how they want to do with their life. They don't care nothing about anything else. It was even said just like willy-nilly a few years ago at camp. We not worried about God. We trying to get to the bag. That's the main mindset that our people have, is mammon, the gold, Eliphaz. My God is a fine gold. That's just like Esau, man. So, come on, man. But once again, no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. So knowing that this is the weapon, that martial law is coming to this place, but our people focus on black power, that's on the Southern Kingdom, of course. But even still, Gad might want to unite and try to fight against. This is like spectacles. It's not really. They never said anything like that. But I'm just saying, Southern Kingdom of Gad want to rise up against the Gad, but there's no possible way that you can do that through physicalities, through anything physical. Because of this. This is Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places." All right. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers. All right. So there's nothing that we can do in these bodies. There's nothing that our bodies can do other than pray. lift up your hands and pray to the Most High, and pray for your brothers and sisters in truth and sincerity through the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai. Pray for the downfall of Esau, his kingdom. Pray for pray to be the hopeful elect or the 1/3. Be it man, woman, or child. If you're elect, won't be a man. This is the beginning of the end right now. So yeah, get it while it's hot. So we can get everybody riled up. Get everybody in the spirit. So our what you call it, our objective is against Esau. He's in high places. He controls the whole world. He's the hammer of the earth. And how is the hammer of the earth going to be cut asunder? It's going to ultimately be through his men. It's going to be through. It's going to be through the hopeful elect. But doing the highways and byways and street corners, spreading off the correct and proper vibration, the correct fruit. Doing what the Lord has commanded for us to do. It's the only way we're gonna be able to get out of here. And this is just going into Joshua chapter 6. Just get a little story. Let me see where I go to. Read about like the 20 just walls of Jericho. This is what the apostle said. R1. Basically, we supposed to do what we commanded. And as far as all the so-called black leaders and leaders, as far as for our people, representatives for our people that's on a pedestal right now, they want all these different types of stuff for their like Southern Kingdom, or like I say mainly I always see like a Gaday leader, or as this Joshua chapter 6 verse 1, it says, "Now Jericho was straightly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thy hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shall do and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times. And the priests shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horns, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him." All right. So this is going into the walls of Jericho. This is the Lord giving ordinance to giving an order to 7 priests, belonging 7 arms. Same mindset now. The elect, the hopeful elect, Lord willing, part of that number, given the order by Yahweh Shai through the power of Yahweh, ultimately are we are on the highways and byways and street corners, and give off a certain vibration, living by voice as a trumpet, telling people about the downfall of this place, who they truly are, and the history, and about ultimately the downfall of this place, man, and who they truly are, man. So knowing that Esau is the devil, the so-called the Caucasian race, that we are the true Israelites according to the scriptures, the so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, speckled birds. Knowing that America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction, 200 million missiles. I'm saying that right? Oh yeah, I'm saying 200,000, so 200 million. Yeah, but kind of giving out the correct vibrations. It says verse 6. It says, "And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. And he said unto them, it's like he said unto the people, Pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. It came to pass when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of the ham's horns passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets, that and the reward came after the dart, the priests going on and the blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make a noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you, I bid you shout, then you shall shout. All right. This is like specific, just like specific orders that the Lord has given to us. We ultimately under the laws, 613 laws. You know, we're gonna say 612 if you're not counting sacrificial laws, which Yahweh Shah being the main sacrifice, and that's through spiritual sacrifice, giving our body on highways and byways. Um, Nonetheless, we shouldn't it's not what goes into a man that defiles, but what goes out, spiritually. So if we not giving out the correct fruits, that's gonna be our mark, you know. Not a good mark though, not at the wall of exemption. But if you spreading bad fruit and you going against the Lord, and you're not truly for the Lord, you have about my side with truth and sincerity, then you're not gonna get at the wall. You're gonna get you're not gonna get a mark of exemption. You're gonna get a mark of death. All right. So this is what the Lord is. He has a mission and objective for us. We got to do every exact thing He wants to do. You know. So this is the prophecy unfolding. I'm just go down to the end. It says, so verse 20. It says, so the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep, and ass with the edge of the sword. This is what the Lord utterly is going to do to this place. Babylon, spiritually, Sodom and Egypt, spiritually Gomorrah. It's like spiritually Chaldees, spiritually Nineveh, spiritually Rome, spiritually Greece. So spiritually Egypt. I think I already said that. Nonetheless, this place is gonna be done away with through the sword, through ultimately through nuclear destruction. 200 million missiles, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Warheads that will turn the place into a lake of fire. This is what the Lord tells us to do: is to go around Jericho 7 times. Man, we supposed to be in the truth until the very end. We also, just like the people in the back that shouted, that weren't supposed to speak, the 1/3, they are in it as well. That they want to get salvation. They want that they want at the wall as well. They want to be able to get transformed. So the 1/3, the men, women, children that believe on the name Yahweh Bashim outside, and for the elect that is doing the acts, blowing them trumpets for 7 days to completion. Ultimately, that's what the Lord is asking for His men to do right now, and that's what we're gonna do. That's the only way we're gonna get out of this situation. That's why this is a physical story that actually happened. But ultimately, we're not gonna be able to do this again. We're not judges right now. That's a beautiful thing. Corinthians, through the foolishness of preaching, you should be saved. So that's ultimately what we're gonna be able to do. We're gonna be able to get out of this place because of spiritual warfare, not physical warfare. All right. That is another story in the scriptures, just going into once again a rebellion, Maccabees, talking about rebelling against kings and kingdoms. This is what our people have done through our history, but the last time we're gonna do it, which is now in this current lifetime, it's not gonna be through physical. It's the last time we're gonna do this thing, but it's not gonna be through physical warfare. It's gonna be through spiritual warfare. All right. It says 2 Maccabees chapter 7, sort of verse 1. It says, and it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mothers were taken and compelled by the king against the law to take swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. Then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, with which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut off the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his bodies, the rest of his brethren and his mothers looking on. Now he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire, and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, the Lord Yahweh looketh upon us, and in truth have comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his service. And ultimately, a story. He already, he was getting get dismembered. That's what the king said he was gonna do to him, and they knew they knew dang well what the king was gonna do to him, and guess what? They accepted it as soon as he said it, because I'll read on. Well, they accepted it. Um, the king only did half the job, only dismembered him. Go ahead, throw me in the fire. You said you would. We already knew you were gonna do it. So this is the mindset we got to be in. To die for the Lord, and also to give a life for the Lord, knowing that reincarnation. I was gonna say this for the story, but reincarnation, and as well the Lord can bring us back. Reincarnation, want to be one of 1/3 or the hopeful elect. Praying that the Lord will keep you safe. All right, so ultimately, there's really nothing to worry about. If you 1/3 or the hopeful elect in this life, you should be glad that you should be one of the first fruits or the hopeful elect, because the Lord is not going to suffer you to be what you call it, have a mark of death. You're gonna have a mark of exemption ultimately, because you did that for the Lord. You have about your mouth. All right, so verse 7. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to him, making a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished, while every member of thy body? But he answered in his own language, and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And when he was at the last, he said, thou like a fury takest out of the Salakia. It says, thou like a fury takest us out the present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life, Yahushua. After him was the third made in mocking stock, and when he was required, he put his tongue out, and then right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I have from heaven, and for his laws I despise them, and from him I hope to receive them again. All right. So once again, going to reincarnation. If you want me to, if the Lord command you, if a wicked king gonna make you eat pork and turn against the laws, and you have to give up your body, hey, you might well give it up. Matthew 10:28. I might well get it. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. All right. So Esau may be able to kill you and maim you, so can all the wicked kings, but we're not created for our own pleasure. We're not created just because we want to. We're not created. We're not here because our own will. We're here because the Lord allowed us to be here. He created our spirit, our body. If someone can take away our body, they cannot take away our soul or our spirit. Only the Lord can do that, and He can give your body right back, even better and stronger, man. So you should not be afraid of anything that's going to be dished out from the enemy, because ultimately a weapon that's formed against you shall not prosper. Esau want to do away with Israel as a nation. They simply cannot do that. As long as the sun and moon are here, When the sun and moon get throw out their alignment or be destroyed, that's when Israel will cease as a nation. That's not gonna happen. The Lord set them up, just set the moon and sun up, just like He set up His children Israel. He's not gonna forget them as a nation. He's gonna give them what they need right now, which is 2/3 of them need some punishment, and 1/3 need salvation, and hopefully elect need salvation as well, man. The Yahweh design part of that number. This is Esther chapter 14, verse 14 says, "The Lord shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace." So ultimately, this is what the Lord is doing. For the 1/3, the men, women, children. You praying without ceasing, studying to show yourself approved. Watching videos, being caught up on the prophecy and breakdowns and everything. The strong meat to the baby's milk. That's good to know because we're in the end of times. Your husband or your father or brother that's helping you out or whatever. But ultimately, you want right now. Of course, you want to be on the front lines because we do need men. That's how we're gonna get out of there. It's through the men, the hopeful elect. That's on highways and byways and street corners that's giving out the correct fruits and sign of operation through truth and sincerity of Yahweh by Shema Shah. All right, this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. I should get this. It says, "Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." All right. Last and not least, we ultimately are here by the Lord's will. 1/3 of our people know that. The hopeful elect. They went over the yard, but hopefully, Lord will, I'm part of that number. They ultimately know that they're here for a reason as well. You're not here because you're supposed to be equal to Esau. You're not here to be equal to the devil. You're here to be a king, or even a prince. Even though we are a prince by bloodline, we're here to be servants for the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. We're here. We are here to be princes and kings, but spiritually. We don't have no kingdom right now. The kingdom is it's within us. The only way we can manifest that is through the spirit, knowledge, and understanding. It's through the word that the scriptures have, and ultimately the knowledge that we obtain through the spirit Yahweh Shema Shah, and spread the proper vibration and fruits. The only way we're gonna get out of here is through the word that's within us, the living water that Yahweh Shah bestowed into us. It's not gonna be through violence or physical warfare. It's gonna be through the spirit. All right. So physical warfare probably is nothing. Physical warfare will not save us. Spiritual warfare will. But Yahweh Zazada was edifying a little lesson just going on that, man. With that, I say shalom.